Hello and welcome to Postscripted. My name is Mike.
My name is Ray.
I'm joined by Ray.
Hi.
I talked over Ray once again. I promise this isn't a re-recording
We're
or
professionals.
anything like that.
Again.
We're professionals. Something weird wouldn't happen on a first take that we did of something, which is why this is the first take and not the second. So it's fine. Not that you plebs need to know about it. So who cares?
Wow.
Rude. Please like and subscribe. Don't leave. Oh my god. Please don't come back.
Rate our
I'm so
podcast
sorry.
on iTunes. It helps out.
The simp-ery begins early, Ray.
We're just jumping right in, aren't we? Just now they're gonna bury the lead.
This is a post-scripted, which means we are talking about a show or some other thing that doesn't quite fit into Creed Got Robbed and not quite into unscripted gaming. But honestly, this one could be kind of a crossover between the two because today we are talking about the Netflix Castlevania animated series, of which season 3 pretty recently came out. Ray and I both watched it, and we're here to talk about it. So, just for reference, we are going to spoil the ever-living daylights out of this whole thing.
Yep,
so
top to bottom.
That's kind of just regardless of. That's just kind of a blanket thing you should probably assume about anything we talk. Anytime we talk about anything, but just. In case Mom wants to watch Castlevania, Mom, we're gonna spoil the ending. Actually, please don't watch Castlevania. Don't watch this show.
Let's.
If you're hearing this, Mom, don't watch this. You can skip this episode. I promise.
Let's get into this. Let's get into some animated.
I love you, but please skip this one.
Animated vampire titties. That's what this episode is about.
Oh God, no, Mom, just stop listening now, please. I'm so sorry.
I take nothing back. Not a damn thing.
So it's too late. It's too late now. We're
We're diving deep.
So, like I was saying, we're talking about Castlevania. Ray, how much do you know about Castlevania?
I've played every single Metroidvania Castlevania game, played and beaten them. I 100% at Symphony of the Night. Every single one that came on the Game Boy Advance, from Circle of the Moon all the way to the one with Juiced Belmont, which the name escapes me. Play
Juice Belmont.
Juste, Juiced Belmont. It's either juiced or just. They never say it out loud. I play all the ones on the Nintendo DS, all the way up to Order of Ecclesia, starting with Aria of Sorrow. And I just played, and these are technically Castlevania type games because they're made by the same guy. Wow, the name is escaping me. Curse of the Moon, and the one that was Kickstarter, Blood something. Oh man, Bloodstain. Thank you. I knew it started with a BS, but I want to say Blood Rain for some odd reason. Vampires, girls. I got caught up in it. Anyways, yeah, Bloodstain. Also, I played and completed. Not 100% for Bloodstain because, that is much more game than I anticipated. But I did beat Curse of the Moon 100%. I'm a Castlevania fan. I've never played the classic Castlevania games because I don't know. I just haven't yet. One day, why not?
Okay. Good to know.
Thank
For reference, I am also a Castlevania fan. I have played about 10 hours of Portrait of Ruin about
It's a good one.
12 years ago. I played Bloodstained, the preview NES style Kickstarter preview game they made, not the real one.
So that's Curse of the Moon.
I have 100%ed every 3D Castlevania game and have not played a single other 2D Castlevania game.
Wait, so you're talking about like the Lords of Shadow ones?
No, I'm joking. I haven't actually played those.
Oh, okay.
I have not. I've never played Symphony of the Night.
That's okay. If you don't like Metroidvania style games, that's like one of the Metroidvania style games.
I do like them. I just haven't played it.
Oh.
I literally have it downloaded on my PS4 and I still haven't played it.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't play nor beat that game until literally 2017.
Oh, good.
I've played Rygar more than I played Castlevania.
All right.
That's a joke. I'm kidding.
I literally have played Rygar more than
You're about okay, let's go. Hit me with the
I mean, if we're going to be real here, I don't mind a man wielding a whip to kill vampires, but homeboy has a shield Oh no, Shane. that is game
With
design.
spikes
you can
on
set
it.
your
What
watch
are you
to.
doing? What are you doing? Are you gonna throw it and catch it? Well, you're gonna cut your hand off. Way to go, dummy. Way to go.
He just kind of throws it. It's like a punching motion. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Rygar, though we should. Damn it.
No, we should not. No one gives a shit about Rygar.
How dare you?
It's 2020. Who?
I guess it doesn't matter.
You're gonna be.
I'm not even. No, I'm not even gonna dignify this.
You're gonna be mad at me,
You're
but
not.
I'm looking up
You're
if
not
there's a
talking
3D
about
Rygar.
We're not. No, stop. There is a 3D Rygar, and it's called Bayonetta.
We're moving on. We're moving on right now. I don't have the time to unpack how wrong you are. There's not enough time in the day.
Well, where do you want to start here?
What did you
'Cause I
think
feel
of?
like
What did you think of the first 2 seasons of Castlevania? How did you stumble across this Netflix series? Because when I saw the first season of Castlevania pop on Netflix, I cleared my day. I didn't have to. It was only 2 hours worth of
Yeah,
episodes.
it was real. The first season was kind of like it was almost kind of like a float, like, hey, we don't know if this thing is good or not, but here you go. And then people really liked it, like myself. And they're like, oh shit, we got to make a whole show. Oh fuck shit. Oh god. Because the first season is only 3 episodes. So season
4.
2 is like, okay, 4, but like, so season 2 is the actual first season of this show.
Yeah.
And I really liked season 1 and 2. I mean, season 1 is so short, but I was like, I like that premise. I think season 2 built on that in a lot of interesting and good ways. I mean, my only complaint about season 2 really is just I wish there was just more. That's pretty basically my only complaint about this show, honestly, in general. It's just that I wish there was just more, just because I really, really like it, and I think it's really good.
So from
I just wish there was just more of it.
From like a game aspect, season 1 is just this gigantic love letter if you loved Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, because it's basically that entire game made into a cartoon anime, and it's almost pitch perfect. It really is, because you got Trevor and Sypha. No Grant the Nasty, you don't need him, and you got the wonderfully bisexual vampire Alucard. I'm calling him bisexual based on exactly what I saw in season 3, by the way. We'll get to that. But the show was great in season 1. It told
Assuming that someone is bisexual implies that they can fuck on some sort of basic level, and as we know that Alucard is a turbo virgin.
Hold on.
and cannot fuck. So this is
wait.
Bleep. You're just going to bleep all these out.
I stopped doing that a while ago.
Good.
Based strictly on our YouTube monetization, I'm like, I think I'm wasting time bleeping these.
That's okay.
But I loved in the first episode, the very first episode of Castlevania Season 1, you felt for Dracula. You're like, you know what? Kill them all. Do it. It's all right, man. I'm on your side. Well, once everyone burnt.
Man, and I think like this is a great way to start kind of looking at season 3 is like, I think kind of like an underlying thesis for like, for all the, for like Sypha, Trevor, and Alucard in this season is like, man, maybe Dracula was right. Like, because there's some bad stuff that happens in this season, and like in that like we'll get into it here, but it's like I really enjoyed what happened in the story that they told in season 3, but part of the reason why I love it so much is because I'm so excited to see like what they do next, because I think they left the characters in a really great spot.
So I have some critique of season 3 I want to get to with you.
Okay, well, let's get into it here. I don't know if I want to do like a specific episode by episode.
No.
Kind of summary or recap here.
I want to do like a grand 50,000 mile view looking down. So like season 1 was the love letter to the people that love specifically the games. There's a lot of like hidden little tropes that you could see in the episodes based on that. Season 2 was even more so. If you loved Dracula's Curse and you love Symphony of the Night, lots of little pokes and nods. And if you look at the background, you see the portrait of the very first Belmont in Season 2. I think it's episode 3. Leon Belmont. You see his big old portrait looking all proud and such. And all of that is great, and it's all a bunch of world building and lore building. You understand where the Belmonts get their magic from, and you understand why Alucard is really uncomfortable about it. And why wouldn't you be? He's got vampire skulls in his basement. And then you see them take on Dracula, and you get to see Dracula's point of view, and then they fight Dracula, and that's an awesome 2 episodes. Incredible. Hold on. Credit to Season 2 when they played Bloody Tears when they led the assault on Dracula's castle. Girl.
Man. It's so good.
Delicious. Okay, on to Season 3. Season 3, here's my biggest critique. It's nothing but world building. And it's nothing but world building outside of every video game of Castlevania ever made. So I was right along with the ride for anyone else that's never played the games. I was like, well, all right, where you going? I have no idea where this is going to end up.
Yeah, and as someone like, as someone who is like, much less familiar with the like Castlevania lore and specific story, I mean, I kind of come to this for like the setting, but I just don't really know the specifics. So I guess I guess I don't see Season 3 as like a huge departure from what I come to expect, but like I think I'm really satisfied with like the arcs that do happen in this season, but I think there's also a lot of really good building that happens as well. I think one of my I think Isaac's whole arc in this season is really fascinating as he's like building his demon army. Well, and I can't remember which episode it is, but he has like he has like this really weird like super frank discussion with
with the Boatmaster or something.
Oh, with the Boatmaster is pretty good when he's like, because he's like trying to sort out.
He's like my favorite character, Isaac honestly, this season.
He's great. Like Isaac is like trying to figure out like what he's gonna do, and the Boatmaster is like, oh, it'd be really easy to say you're just gonna kill all humanity. That's really easy to say that, and I think just has some like really cool. Has some really great scenes, but I also loved the scene with like Isaac and the one demon that he summoned.
Oh yeah, where he's having a conversation with like the one demon with like intelligence left.
Yeah, and like about like the nature of sin and how he's like, I didn't used to be this way, but then I learned to love it. And it's like,
yeah.
It's like creepy and like kind of horrifying in this really great way. And I think that's the thing that makes that, like, I mean, the action animation in the show is so cool and like looks so badass, but like a lot of that writing is like what really makes it for me. Is just like that you could tell they put a lot of really good thought into those scenes that, like, I should just pull up the script or something, because it's just, that is so so there's some really killer like dialogue.
I do appreciate how in the first episode they're not bearing the lead. Trevor and Sypha are an item. They're a thing. Which is great because they work really well together. I love Trevor Belmont's new outfit, the darker outfit that he has. You pointed this out to me via Messenger. Trevor Belmont is very clearly wearing Dracula's cloak.
But it's like, yeah, I saw that on Twitter, and but it's just like he's wearing his cloak, but it's like he's too short, So he's just because he's not like Dracula, so he's just got it tied in this funny looking way, and it's like it's so good.
That little detail of just like, you know what, that guy gave me so much shit, and it's the job of a Belmont to hunt these guys. I'm the last one. Give me the cloak. I'm gonna wear the cloak of Dracula when I'm feeling a little cold outside. That seems so 100% in character for Trevor. Also, the relationship that Trevor and Sypha have is so adorable. That scene when they scrap enough money together to just buy a hotel room, just to have the comfort of sleeping in a bed for once, and they're laying in bed, and Trevor gets stirred awake because something happens or something, and Sypha like smacks him on the face and says, "Yeah, no talking," and he's like, "Oh, sorry." And she like pats him on the cheek and says, "Good boy." Small little details like that. It's adorable.
It's like there, there's a relationship between men and women that is present in this season 3 of Castlevania. That is more extreme in some cases than other, but is just...
Okay, I know where you're going. I don't think Trevor and Sypha are like... There's a lot of equity between them.
No.
Let's go ahead and dive into how this show hates Hector, though. Oh, man. Fuck Hector. Everything about
Hector probably also thinks it's Hector. Fuck Hector. Poor Hector. God, man. Oh, our boy Hector.
They introduced 3 new vampires beyond Camilla. It's her sisters. I forget what the other 2's name are, but one is Lenore. And we all know Lenore because she treats Hector good.
Oh, God.
Eventually, she treats Hector like a puppy. And, hold on, if I may. That really cool scene where Hector tries to threaten to slit Lenore's throat, and everybody, I assume, watching the show is just like, boy, what are you doing? What
It's like, she's a vampire, dude.
What do you think
What are
you're
you doing?
So, of course, she does what vampires in Castlevania could do, turns into a bunch of bats and just beats the ever-loving shit out of him. And tosses, a half-eaten apple to him. There's your meal. I'm like, yeah, that's what you should expect, Hector. You're naked and she's like a demigod. What were you thinking? Anyways, let's get into what Mike has been on pins and needles to talk about. Let's talk about the simp-ery of Hector. Let's just dive right into the simp-ery of...
Well, it's so tragic because it's like, well, I mean, it's like almost comical, like how simpy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Simp is, for reference, like someone like a guy who is like, puts women on a pedestal to the point that it is self-destructive.
Yes.
And he it's just so like, poor Hector, my dude. Like, you can't.
Lenore was being really kind to him, and she wasn't trying to treat him like a slave. She was. Let me finish.
It's a classic. It's a honeypot.
Yeah, it's 100% a
fell
honeypot.
Right in. It's like, you cannot fall for the honeypot harder, my guy.
Oh,
what
he
are
fell
you doing?
For her, and then she
it's
said,
so good.
"Hey, you haven't been with a woman for a while. Why don't you go ahead and sleep with me?" And as Hector is, and the show makes no bones about showing it, balls deep in Lenore.
Hey,
he swears his like ever-loving fealty, and she, without him knowing, slipped a ring around him, and.
It's just like, dude, this is the first. It's like, I was like, well, the vampire cookie is pretty nice.
I hope it was worth it, Hector, because that ring makes him the forever slave of Lenore, and I'm wondering, like, in the next season, like, how's he gonna get that off? They have to get that off somehow, but.
That feels inevitable.
It looks pretty airtight, but yeah, Hector's like, you tricked me. You turned me into a slave. She's like, I didn't trick you. You're just whatever you always wanted to be, my pet. Now come on, let's go for walkies. I'm like, Whoever wrote Hector must have played that 3D Castlevania game, the one that stars Hector, and hated it so much that they're just.
It's like, what we got to do to this guy. I got an idea.
What happens to Hector actually kind of made me not like season 3, because it's like I I like Schadenfreude. Don't get me wrong, but even I have my limits.
I like softcore anime. Okay, who doesn't? Who's among us?
Before I get to what I was going to say about Isaac, do we want to talk about episode 9?
Oh, you know what's really funny?
What?
So I watched most of this by myself. And then at one point, I was like, I mentioned Sarah. I'm like, oh, I like Castlevania season 3. It's pretty good. And she's like, okay, well, I'll watch this one with you. The only episodes she watched were 9 and 10. Which is like, it's like that meme where it's like, you start like, it's like that Twitter meme where you like watch a movie with the sex scene, and then like your dad that you haven't seen in 10 years walks through the door. Hey son, what you watching? Like, it was literally that, but not as extreme. And I was just like, oh my goodness gracious, this is very steamy.
Yeah, episode 9 was as extreme as the series has ever gotten so far. It's just showing sex from just different characters at different time frames and different angles. And as Mike at one time put it to Josh, they show it. You get to see what Hector's dick looks like.
They show it.
They do. You don't get to see Alucard's.
Oh, they show it.
I was disappointed. I'm like, all right, you're going to give me Hector's peen. Where's Alucard's? Where's that going?
Oh, my God.
What?
Oh, that reminds me. Because, like, at, like, one of the crazy, like, most tense sequences in the show is, like, when, oh, my God, Trevor and Sypha are, like, fighting at the church with, like, Jermaine and like, all the town people.
Yeah.
And, like, that whole crazy thing. But at the same time, like, Hector is like having sex with Lenore,
yep.
And like Alucard is being approached by, like, we'll talk about more about them, but like the two people that he have come to his castle recently, yeah. And it's cutting between like this crazy, like, awesome action sequence and like this, like these sex sequences that are not good. You're like, this is not good. This is not gonna end well for either of these people. Yeah. It's such a great sequence. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's like I don't think that there are a lot of shows that could like cut between like a sex scene and like some intense combat happening and have the sex part be like the more
visceral.
They do such a good job because like that's the more like character. It's like the combat is like good and well done and fun to watch, but like the other scenes are just like, you're just like, oh my God, this is so bad, this is not good, it's just so tense. And then what, it's like, that the bad things are coming anyway, but it's still like, it's tense to see like, oh God, how is this gonna play out? It's such a great that sequence is like, I think what made the season for me. Like, it's so great.
Also in episode 9 and 10, if I recall. Since you mentioned it briefly, you want to talk about how this show also just hates Alucard? One of my favorite characters in the lore of Castlevania. Just
poor Alucard. He's been doing his social distancing before it was not cool so much as it was necessary in the face of a global pandemic.
Don't do my boy like that.
But it's so funny when there are so many great sequences where it's like he's alone in the castle, and he's got like the little Trevor and Sypha is like, hey, I'm Trevor, I'm stupid, I don't know what that is. It's like, it's so clear he just misses his friends so badly, but like is a dumb dummy who doesn't know how to be like normal.
Well, he can't be normal because he's a vampire. Like, what is normal in the world where he killed his own father? Because his own father, with a big gang of vampires, tried to kill humanity.
Yeah, they did try to do that.
They 100%
We deserved it, but they did try, so.
So I feel bad for Alucard. I thought this was eventually leading to, like, Symphony of the Night, where he ends up falling asleep for, like, 100 years or something like that, and says, fuck it, I'll wake up later and kill my dad again, because Dracula one day will come back. He comes back in every Castlevania game. Why not come back? But Alucard does meet these two vampire hunters, Zumi and Taka. Looks like they're from Japan. I'm going to 100% presume that based on their backstory, looking like Japan.
That seems pretty Correct.
If I'm wrong, let me just say they set me up to be wrong. Okay.
Yeah. No. I think that's correct. I would say that's correct as well. But yeah, I really liked Alucard's arc in this season because it's kind of it's. I think his arc is the one I want to see most desperately continued.
Yeah.
Because
healers just hate humanity.
The show, because the show ends with like him like I killed Dracula. I live in my own castle in solitude, and like he's lonely, and then the first people he opens up to and trusts not like literally betray him as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And try to kill him
in the most intimate way possible. Like, let's not bury the lead. In episode 9, there are several episodes where he's talking with them. It's like 4 or 5 episodes throughout the season. And he's just learning about them, teaching them to hunt, teaching them some little magic tricks. And then they try to sleep with him. Okay, let's just get this out the way. Zumi and Taka are brother and sister, right?
Weird vibes.
Yeah.
Very weird vibes.
And they have a 3-way with Alucard. And I was like, yeah, that's not okay for a lot of reasons. And then once everyone's climaxed and whatnot, and don't worry, they show it.
They show it.
They tried to kill Alucard right then and there. They tried to stake homeboy.
And it's so sad because like Alucard's like, no, please stop. I can kill you at any time. Please stop. Please don't do this.
I'm a
no, you can't. We're gonna kill you. And then he absolutely does. And then he like stakes them outside the castle like his dear old dad. And you're just like, oh no, this is so sad because all you've been trying to do is not be Dracula this whole time. And this is what you're doing now, but you're also perfectly justified in doing that. Oh, no, this is so bad. Oh, you need your friends very badly.
I love the line Alucard delivers as they're staked outside. He's like, Dad didn't seem to be very effective. It's like, oof. Ooh, that's like leading to him, like, maybe one day becoming the next Dracula.
Yeah, see, that's what makes me so excited, because I'm just like, I am so worried about our sweet boy Alucard.
So,
tall, blonde, and gorgeous Alucard.
Oh, he is a beautiful man.
Our sweet baby boy being like, I need to be evil now, and he's
kind of being pushed in that direction as much as he's trying to just like, everyone just leave me alone. I've got a lot to deal with, and I live forever. So that's another nightmare in and of itself that I will always have this pain.
It's like all Dracula wanted to do was do science. Live forever, hang out with Lisa, eat hot chip, and lie. And then the humans were like, "We should kill Lisa," and then that just fucked up shit for everybody. It was not good. But yeah, I think that like.
Do you think? Hold on, can we focus on that a little bit? Do you think Dracula went a little too far? Now, Dracula has always hated humanity for a variety of reasons. And he's decided, you know what? You killed my wife. This small little town of Wallachia killed my wife. That's it. Every human in the world dies.
I mean, I think he probably went a little too far, obviously, because I'm human. I'd prefer not to be exterminated.
You could go full Hector and go simp on humans.
I already do that. But has been like one of my favorite dynamics in the show. Well, that's kind of like in season 2, where the other vampires are like, oh, so he wants to fight a war with the humans. So that means we're obviously going to keep some humans to keep alive just because we're vampires and that's how we live. So we should do that, right? And Dracula's like, no, we got to kill them all.
We kill everybody, and thus, and in his mind, and thus we starve to death, and so we eventually die.
Yeah, I loved that dynamic.
Yeah,
and because that's like Hector and Isaac are like true believers in that, but they're humans.
No, Hector is of the mind that there would be a controlled population.
That's right. Yeah. Isaac is a true believer.
Isaac is a true believer of like, no, screw them, kill them all, control population or not. And I think Isaac just wanted to do what he could because it was Dracula's goal. Isaac simped for Dracula.
Yeah.
Speaking of which. But that's okay. I actually like Isaac's character because he's got this horrifically tragic backstory. Everyone has a tragic backstory in this show, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, even Trevor. Yeah, even Trevor. Yeah. So I guess in what I'm trying to say is I guess Dracula didn't go too far and that kill all humans in the world was his plan. His plan was like death by suicide. He just wanted everyone else.
Yeah.
He wanted to take everyone else with him.
I have to get down to 2.
Let me see. I'm trying to think of what other things I want to talk about. And kind of jumping over to Trevor and Sypha. Like their whole arc. So this whole time they're in like a town dealing with some like weird magic portal to other world stuff. Saint Germain shows up and does some cool crazy things. That's fun. But like the whole revelation that so they like, you know, fight all the obvious like demons or whatever in the town. They're like, yeah, we did it. We beat all the demons. Yay, we did it. But then they realize that like, oh, the very normal like governor of this town or whatever has just been, you know, killing children secretly for however long, probably years.
Yeah, a while.
Just, you know, no like secret portal to hell, no nothing. It's just like man being evil as hell for no good reason.
Can I?
Yeah.
So ever since I think it's in episode 3 or something, like he walks out of a room like shaking and like rubbing his hands down and covered in sweat when he told that boy to go wait at the apple tree. I assumed the worst. I
see.
I assumed that until the last episode.
That I think is one of the craziest revelations in the show. I was blindsided by that. I'm like, this. I don't know if I like the vibe from this guy.
Oh, I immediately didn't trust him anymore after that.
But like, you know, the show uses like swear words in a funny, disarming way sometimes.
Yeah.
Because the character is like, what the fuck is toilet paper? Which is very funny, especially now.
Yes. In this context of the world we live in. Oh.
But like, it's such like that's why I loved the arcs of this season, but I'm so excited because like Trevor and Sypha are like, yeah, we just go around, we beat up demons, we protect humans. That's easy. Like that's all we got. We got this. Like. It's so clear that they are, and it's clear that by the end of this season that they are very competent in absolutely messing up demons. Mm-hmm. That is not difficult for them to do in the slightest.
I love the scene at the very end in episode 10 where Trevor whipped out both the vampire killer whip and the Morning Star, and he set the vampire killer on fire, which is canonical to the game because you're always wondering like how does he do that, and the answer is Belmont magic. He just does it.
Belmont magic is the answer for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I love that because I thought he got rid of vampire killer, but nope, it's always just kind of back there.
But like I love the kind of fact that their arc ends with being like humans like can be just as bad to each other as demons can be to humans, but you know there's no magic portal to hell with like the town judge. Mm-hmm. He's not like some super evil warlock, like he's just a fucked up dude.
Yeah.
And is entirely human by all means of understanding with the show, and you can tell that really messes them up.
Yeah.
And it's really sad, and she just like they just burn down the house and just leave, and man, it's just I like again I loved the arcs that they had in season 3, but I am so excited to see where they go next with some of this stuff because I think they've put everybody in some really interesting positions that are really tough.
There was one character we kind of left out, and that is the tortured soul of Isaac, who's walking around with an army of demons, a literal army of demons.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk with you about this because I never got your opinion on this, and I was waiting for this podcast. Everyone in the town seems to be a little bit too comfortable with Isaac strolling up to their town with an army of demons. They always say, "Hey, we don't want you and your demons coming into our town. Turn back." And Isaac's like, "No, I just want to get to the boat on the opposite side. Let me through. No one
and
dies."
And it's like the fact that they're even having the conversation is just like, what? They're demons. Just kill them.
Yeah,
it's really funny. But yeah, I think I loved what they did. I loved all the scenes like with Isaac and the like I said, I mentioned the one earlier, Fly Eyes. I looked him up on the Wikipedia.
There's like a 15-minute like dissection of that one character and him talk. Yeah, as you were saying, talking about sin and how he was wrongfully convicted and was still sent to hell. And that's like, ooh, fuck, man, ouch. And he's this horrible abomination creature now. But he still maintains his level of sentience and intelligence, so he's aware of what happened to him. That is a true form of hell and just horror.
Yeah, and it's like he thanks Isaac for giving him second life, and he intends to enjoy it well. And it's just like, ugh, it's so good. Like I think Isaac had some great action sequences, like when he goes to fight that warlock in that whole weird town.
That's so left field. Did you not feel that just came out of fucking nowhere?
It feels pretty random. But I think like he has so many great like one-on-one dialogue scenes, like with the boat captain, and
that was really cool.
Trying to like with people trying to kind of poke holes and prod him for his like, I want to kill everything ideology, and he's like, oh, so you want to kill me?
Right.
But you need me.
It's like, yeah.
So what does that mean?
The boat captain says, hey, so you want to come onto our boat? It's like, why don't I just kill you with all my demons and take your boat? Boat captain's like, well, you ain't going to be able to sail it. It's like, can't be that hard. Oh, yeah. And I love the boat captain's response. It's like, yeah, that's why sailors exist in the world, because captaining a boat is so easy, right? It's like you make a point.
Yeah, it's really, God, just, man, I loved it. I really liked this show. Like I said, I just wish that there was more of it.
Judging by how well it did, there can't not be a season 4.
I'm pretty sure I've seen, let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure I saw that they've already. Give me just 1 second.
Yeah.
Netflix has announced a Castlevania 4 renewal, so
of course
it is happening.
Because it's great. You want to keep the good shows going.
Oh yeah. Hey, we made it past the Netflix season 3 hump. So
wait, is that a thing?
That's the one you got to clear. Well, people like to joke that Netflix is notorious for killing any show after 3 seasons.
Wait, is that really a thing? I don't watch a lot of Netflix original shows, so I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Nobody does. That's why they only make 3 seasons.
Oh. Fair point. All right, that's all I got to say about that show. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I've got to. Like I said, I don't really have a lot.
It's a lot of lore expansion, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and I think one thing that is we didn't quite talk about too much, but I think this, despite all like the good darkness and kind of like heavy, good, meaty stuff to like dig into in the show, I think it's also just really funny in a lot of ways. Like when Trevor drinks the beer and is like, "Oh, this is better than sex."
That was one of my favorite
just
scenes.
Was like, "Fuck you!" It just freezes it and just like flops onto the ground. It's really, there's a lot of great funny stuff like that. So I love how like like the show's funny, but there's some great, like they do some great character stuff. Like, God, I really love this show, and
the voice actor for Trevor Belmont, I forget what his name is, but he is bringing it home.
Oh, it's perfect. Like, I love how kind of like blasé he is about. It's just like, I'm so tired. I'm Trevor. I'm so
My
tired.
favorite voice, my favorite line from this entire series has been when Trevor saves Sypha from the Cyclops beast, and as he's walking away, Sypha says, "My name is Sypha Belnat," and before she could finish her last name, Trevor says, "I don't care." And keeps walking because he's so
It's so
done.
funny. Oh,
He's like,
man.
I could not care less what your name is right
It's
now.
so good. It's so
Apparently
funny.
it's
I love
Richard
this
Armitage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's bringing it home. That every time I see Trevor in the game nowadays, that's what he sounds like. The voice actor for Alucard and Cypher, they're good.
And just a final warning shot here, guys. Don't simp too hard. It will. If you simp too hard, it will literally kill you. You will literally receive a fate worse than death.
Hector's still alive. And he'll be in season 4.
Still alive, yeah. Just what do they say? Manage your simpery, please.
Don't be like the OK Boomer girl. Don't be like her and her fan.
God. We can't talk about OK Boomer girl.
We can't. We shouldn't.
We can't.
We should not do that. That'll go down a dark place.
People can send her money. It's fine. I think she's allowed to exist. It's the oldest grift in the history of the world. Don't get too mad about it. Okay. It's fine.
I'm not mad about it. I respect the game. Oh shit, we're talking about the OK Boomer girl. We need to stop. We need to wrap this up.
We can't do this. We cannot do this.
I'm not gonna do it.
Thanks for listening to this postscripted Castlevania. My name is Mike.
My name is Ray.
We'll see you next time. Peace.